It's something that is very personal to your circumstances. Now, the biggest goal of anything we do with any client is to make sure that it's personal. Can we fucking make it as good as we possibly can for whatever you've got available? If that's 6 hours, right, that needs to be the fucking best quality 6 hours you can possibly make it. Yeah. How many of you guys wake up in the night? Yeah. What do you think those reasons are? Children. So disregard children for a second, yeah, because they do come into play. What? For a piss. Think different things like that. Right, okay. So a lot of the time you're having a piss because you're awake. Yeah, you're not getting woke up to go for a piss. Do you know what I mean? You're awake because something has triggered you. You're not in deep enough sleep to cause that. How many of you guys go to bed with TV on your phone, fucking on your screen in bed all the time? You're so stimulated all the time. What is it, Babe Station?
Babe Station.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely Babe Station.
Only going mental. Yeah. But genuinely, like, as much as you can, your routine pre-bed is massive. Like, I'll be open, like, my sleep's not great for the hours I get. But when I do go to sleep, I'm fucking gone. My missus sends me photos all the time. I'm just fucking bolt naked. I'm just dropped. Yeah, I'm like a corpse, right? But I'll be fucking straight through for 6 hours, wake up and actually feel fairly fresh compared to some. Yeah. Now, it's very important to make sure that pre-bedtime routine is fucking nailed. Like, what do you normally do pre-bed? Don't start saying wanking and stuff now. Like, what's your normal thing that you're normally doing?
It's all they know. Wanking.
Just wanking for a second.
Because I work shift with depends.
Yeah.
On my late shift, I'll get home and I'm like, listen to talk with people and then just chill for hours. And I'll go to bed.
Yeah.
We're on the opposite way. I'm watching TV more on the earlys.
Yeah. It's making sure, honestly, the biggest thing, like, I don't have a TV in the room. Yeah, I try and make sure when I'm actually going to bed, I bang my phone on charge with alarm, it's away from my bed. So I'm not drawn into that. I'm still awake here. Okay, I'll get on my phone and all of a sudden you sat on Instagram, OnlyFans, yeah, going absolutely mental. Yeah, and that is what's going to start stimulating you again and keeping you awake. Like, we can take the piss as much as we want about people like using salt lamps, fucking diffusers. But if that kind of thing works for you, yeah, to calm you, to soothe you, to whatever you want to get into a nice possible state before bed, then use it. Like, some actual things that do work, yeah, lavender on your pillows. Yeah, if you are struggling to sleep, things like lavender drops, lavender spray on your pillows, as much as Gary's smiling at me here now, it fucking works. Yeah, it will help you drop off. There are sups you can take, and Andy will probably touch on some of the sleep sups that you can take. Yeah, there's some certain party ones as well that you might be interested in that will help you drop off a bit deeper. Yeah.
Is he more of a hypno guy? Either a hypno guy. Come here, love.
But that routine, I have the same exact routine every night before bed, and it works. Yeah, don't get me wrong, the hours might not be great, like we're saying, but I know I'm going to bed, I'm dropping off, and I'm waking up when my alarm is. Yeah, you know what I mean? You're going to drop off. So trying to eradicate that up all night, going for a piss, doing this in between, waking up wide awake, you want to try and avoid that as much as you can. Now, I've had to make sure I'm thinking very much muscle building. Some of the answers I could say is just fucking get on with it in the morning, but from a muscle building point of view, sleep is key. But you just got to remember, guys, like, you're not making a living off bodybuilding. Yeah, it's going to be very relative to your circumstances. If you've got kids, sometimes it is just tough shit. Yeah, you're going to have to get up in the night and deal with certain things.
Does anyone do night shifts here?
You say you do night shifts?
I do shift when I build up in like that. Be like 2 to
Right.
10.
Yeah, that is honestly the hardest one.
Yeah. You're just and you got to deal with it. Like,
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be up through the night, but we all go in sacks. No one's heard on it, so the sound.
Now, sleep is one thing. If you do start to fuck it up and you do start to burn the candle too much, for example, the party lifestyle, yeah, it's very hard. You want to try and get back into your usual rhythm. These two will start to get hampered. Yeah. Nutrition for sure, because when you're tired, you definitely can't be arsed prepping food. You definitely can't be arsed going making the right choices. If you're a person who grabs things on the go, you know your calories are, you're going to grab them from the shop and you're going to make a different choice than what you would do if you're fresh. Yeah, because you're going to look at it and go, you know what, I can't be fucking arsed with that. I'm knackered here, I need a little butty. You know what I mean? And you're going to start going down the wrong kind of avenue from what you're trying to do. The biggest one is if your sleep is shit, yeah, this ain't going to be 100%. We've been talking about intensity markers, like we're going to do certain things today on intensity. I can guarantee that you're not doing a triple drop set and giving it your all. You're defo going on your phone most of your session and it's going to be dog shit. So that's where you start to understand, right? If my sleep is on, say you are on a shift pattern or you've had a really bad week with the kids, it's understanding, like, is it really worth going to the gym in the morning? Can I change my week around? Can I plan my day effectively? Because my sleep has been awful, just to try and at least accommodate my training into a different part of the day where I can maximize it. Yeah, that's more aimed at if you're a morning kind of training guy. Yeah, you're going to come in and you're going to be depleted and not very fresh. Yeah. But sleeping wise, guys, like very personal. Yeah, just try and maximize whatever hours you do get by making sure your routine pre-bed is locked in. Yeah, thinking about food pre-bed. How many of you eat late before bed and like go in that kind of window after? I was taking the piss around the other day saying, fuck me, I'm sweating my head off at night. Then I'm thinking, hang on a minute, I've had 500 gram of beef, about 500 gram of potatoes. Yeah, so you're thinking about how many calories you're eating. It's very important to think about what the timing of this meal is pre-bed if you want to also improve the quality of that sleep. As much as it's good to have a big carby meal, it will knock you out. If you are having a massive portion of food, yeah, you've got to understand like thermogenesis vibe, yeah, you're going to wake up feeling sweaty, you're going to wake up feeling hot, yeah, you're definitely not sleeping in your covers when you start going into a bulking phase, yeah, and you've got a shitload of food going in. It is going to wake you up, you are going to feel that. So think about, could you potentially push it further, depending on what the meal actually is, to make sure the quality of that sleep is going to be better, yeah. Cold water, yeah, so we'll look at recovery side of things. Cold water. Anyone seen cold? Obviously, it's fashionable as fuck now, isn't it? I mean, I'm right in the deep end on it, to be fair. Fucking love it.
You're submerged, aren't you?
Hey?
You're in.
I'm excited about this fit now, to be fair. Does anyone use anything recovery, similar kind of thing to cold water? Cryogenic chambers. Right, okay, sweet. Anything else? No one else use anything else? Cold showers? Yeah. How do you feel after them? Can't breathe. Let's be fair, everyone bags cold showers compared to, just get in the plunge pool, lad, go and get in the reservoir. Like, cold showers are worse because you've no warning. It's on your neck as well. Like, the key thing with cold water immersion is making sure you get your neck exposed to the cold. That is where the chemical receptors are going to be to actually get some benefits from that. Now, we can talk about from a recovery point of view, is it mental clarity, like the endorphin rush that you get from cold water immersion? But when you start to think about the reason I'd rather do a plunge over a cold shower, for example, isn't necessarily from a mental clarity point of view and become a spiritual warrior, not a cosmic scouser and all that kind of stuff. It's from a recovery point of view on my joints. Yeah, if I'm going submerged in water to my neck, yeah, I can guarantee the way I feel, especially after a big week of training, is a lot fucking better than when I've not been doing the cold plunging. I've been putting them in 3-4 times a week now, yeah, with a heavy kind of training regime through the week and feel miles better. Yeah. From a joint point of view and reducing inflammation, if you're coming in here banging weights all the time, it will help. Yeah. Now, this doesn't mean I'll flock to Rivington today and jump in the res after we've trained. Yeah, it's not the best advice to do straight away, but it's something you could build to in the future. Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's fashionable now, and it probably be around for a while for people doing it. Maybe do it somewhere safe, like we can drop Credo in. But there's certain places you could go to do cold water plunging, and you will get a benefit. If you are feeling banged up and broken from training, 100% it will help. Yeah. Programming. So you have to resist the urge to scream deload at people. But what are your thoughts on deloading, Zach?
Not many people ever earn it, if I'm being honest.
A deload is you dropping intensity. So say, for example, you're banging a certain rep range, certain weights all week, etc. It's you being banged up and thinking, you know what, I now need to take it off. The problem we've got is people do that after a week of training thinking they've absolutely burnt themselves out. Kenny, how long were you programmed for? Yeah, I guarantee you didn't have a deload every 3 weeks. Yeah, he probably pushed that program to its nth degree. I guarantee there'd be weeks within that big block of time where he needed a little bit of a chill, didn't stop training. He just dropped the load off, maybe dropped some of the reps off, didn't quite push it to his certain kind of failure points, which is key. Now, without sounding like we're going too science and auto-regulation and starting throwing words in, all that kind of means, if you do see it, is you thinking ahead, thinking, I'm fucking battered here from training. I might just pull back one day. Yeah, you can still train. You can still go through your training session. From an intensity point of view, you just pull back a little bit. Yeah, and that is fine to put in there. It's just like Zach said, you need to actually earn that point. And you'll probably find today, like we'll take you through certain intensifiers, etc. of what we're doing. Like you won't be doing anything near that in all your sessions all week for months on end. You'll be having bits of that here and there. When you start to get into the groove of training like that all the time, that's when a deload becomes that little bit more relevant. Yeah. Any questions on recovery? Who wants to go cold dipping after? No one.
What would you say the main problems when it comes to recovery? Is it again consistency that they just won't stick to?
I'm shocking. So mobility wise, I'm not the best. I'll happily pay a physio once a week to sort me out. Yeah. But things like that from a recovery standpoint, consistency is massive. Yeah. I can guarantee if I started doing mobility, if I started doing different aspects of my sleep routine, 100%, as in trying to extend the hours I get through the day, then for sure I'd feel a lot better. I wouldn't feel like I'm running on 85%. I'd feel more close to that 100 mark on my sessions. It's just, you've got to remember is circumstances do dictate how much sleep, how much you can go, how much time in your day you've actually got. Yeah, if you live like a bodybuilder, you've got this as your sole job, is to be a massive guy, then you've got all day to fucking fit all this kind of stuff in. If you've got an hour, you want to try and make sure that hour is the most bang for buck that you can possibly get within the gym setting. Yeah. Now, it doesn't mean you don't switch off altogether when you're outside the gym. If you're a work from home kind of person, you are office based, etc., you can definitely sneak some mobility in. It might look a bit weird if you are in the office doing it. Who gives a fuck if it means your training session's mint? Genuinely. Yeah. But there are ways you can squeeze it into your day elsewhere. You might just have to pre-plan that and make sure it's getting in. You just want to make sure the time that you do have, you maximise as much as you can. Whether it's training, whether it's prepping food, whether it's the sleep time you've got, you want to make sure you maximise what you do have. Yeah.
It's always going to look at me like a piece of shit and say this, but you can always, if possible, if you've got the time, get sleep during the day. So if you can have
Nap time, baby.
you can have half an hour a day, for half hours a week. So like the calories, like my training, it doesn't have to be in set blocks. Wait a little bit, and you can top up the total amount of sleep by getting an extra 50 minutes in during the day.
The key, like Johnny does.
Yeah.
The key thing is on the timing there that Johnny's saying. If you manage to actually keep that sleep between 20 to 30 minutes, you don't drop especially if you're thinking of skiving at work, this might be key. Yeah, if it's 20 to 30 minutes, Jamie, they're fucking head up. 20 to 30 minutes, you don't drop deep enough into your REM, which is when you're going to your deeper sleep. Yeah, that 20 to 30 minutes there, you can use that window to feel recharged. You actually wake up. Do you ever feel like you wake up in the night and you're like, fuck me, I'm awake? But it's probably because you've so far through a cycle before dropping deeper into that other sleep. That is why it's when you woke up. That's why you feel fucking so charged randomly at 2 a.m. And then all of a sudden you knock it off for another 10 minutes, you feel groggy as fuck. You're like, what's just happened? Yeah. You're looking at your sleep cycles. If you keep it shorter there, like Johnny's saying, you can just recharge without actually feeling like, fuck me, I need another 4 hours. Do you know what I mean?
Something just to go in with what Baldy was saying before with programming and deloading. If your calories are high, you're recovering well, you're sleeping well, it's very rare that you'll ever push yourself to a point where you've ground yourself down into a pulp that you do need the deload. And then another thing to consider, if you do get to that point, you have been busting ass, everybody's slightly different here again, where I know me personally, the worst thing I can do is not move. So if I go from training once a day, every day of the week, to having a week off, I'll feel wanked by the end of it, irregardless if I needed the deload. So you might want to train every day, but reduce the intensity of the exercises. You might want to train every other day. There's other things you can do to ensure that you're still progressing. You know what I mean? Again, always consider what's best for you, not what something on here says.
Would you say that's the main goal, or would you want to avoid being in that state? So the lads that now, is the goal to really drill yourself as hard as you can to need the deal, or is it best to just keep trying for it?
You've got to think from a longevity point of view, what can you stick to the longest? If you can just get to the point where Andy's saying there and just keep just below it, how long can you keep that point for? Compared to maxing out, fucking yourself in a session, not training for.
How do you know when to pull back?
Things get sore, lifts start to go down, I get it. That's my main indicator.
What in particular gets sore? What's the worst thing that gets, you know what I mean? Is it joints? Is it muscle? How do you feel when you get sore?
Numbers on the bar for me. So for example, I know I'm really bad when strength starts to decline on the big lifts. If it's a squat or deadlift or whatever, it becomes really, really heavy 3 times in a row, not just once. On the 3rd time, I know that I'm a little bit beat up there. But it's a series of things as well. My sleep will be disturbed, the lifts start to go down. You know, for example, if I'm a biker going from like an assault biker, I'm really going really hard, the calories aren't burning. It's happening 2 or 3 times. I know that I'm about that place where I need to go back a little bit.
It's about learning your own bodies. You know, the more you go through the rigmarole of it, the more you learn, the more you'll cotton on to that quite quick with it.
In regards to the sleep, what would you say is more ideal time to eat before bed?
It depends on the kind of meal. If you're going something a bit more easy digestible, chicken, rice, etc., then you can push it that little bit further. Something like I had, like potatoes and beef, mate, like such a slow, and there's such an amount as well. I might have to start eating at 6 p.m. for a 10 o'clock bedtime. Do you know what I mean? To not sweat. But it's one of them, it's just bringing it far enough forward and trial and error with that. You know what I mean? See how you feel based on that. It very much depends what kind of meal's going to go in there. Something high fat, yeah, with a lot of protein, you want to push it that little bit further forward away from bedtime.